All right. Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another webinar with Scinomix Lab Automation Made Simple. We want to thank you for being here today, and we are joined by our integration partner, Celltrio, for this webinar. So we want to thank them for their time as well. This is all going to be about seamless multi-system integration and how you can maximize your workflow efficiency by integrating some of our products. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so just as some brief introductions, I'm Lucas. I'm the Midwest account manager here at Scinomix, as well as the integration account manager, which is why I'm joining you here today. My formal education and background is in molecular biology, so I can really be a good asset for your labs in creating these larger work cells and workflows in total. So I'm going to pass it over to my sales and service manager, Nick, for an introduction himself.
Hey everyone, pleasure to be with you all. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy days to be with us. My name is Nick Shepard. I am the sales and service manager, as Lucas mentioned, and support Lucas and the rest of our team on expressing and delivering our products to you all out there to really kind of bring automation to your labs for higher efficiencies. So pleasure to be here. I do have a little bit of engineering background. It's always fun to be able to implement these systems and work with you all on kind of the new solutions. As Lucas mentioned as well, this is a little bit different than our previous webinars if you followed along with these series. We do have our co-panelists in the Celltrio team, so I will turn it over to them to introduce themselves.
Thank you, Nick. So as Nick had mentioned, we are from Celltrio. So my name is Bruce Brender. I am one of Celltrio's system scientists. So my background is I'm a cell biologist by training and have spent over a decade in various different work environments involved around cell culture, manual and automated. So my background allows for me to be able to design the appropriate automation solution for our customers. And
And
with me, I have my coworker, Laura.
yeah, hi and good morning. I'm Elora Thompson. I'm Business Development Manager for Celltrio, and I'm located here in our headquarters in Fremont, California. And I'm really excited to be here today to talk about our RippleCell system and how we've partnered with Scinomix to help customers build efficient, high throughput, automated cell culturing systems.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Bruce and Laura. We're very happy to have you both here. So just to kind of get this webinar started, we wanted to go over just a quick agenda so that you know what to expect. It should be about a 30-minute webinar or so where we're going to talk about automation and integration, the capabilities and the benefits of integrating systems into larger systems and work cells. Then we're going to do an integration demo. We'll start with a demo of the standalone MP2 series, which is Scinomix's microplate labeler. And then we're going to go over into a demo with the RoboCell presented by Celltrio. And then after that, we're going to open it up to frequently asked questions and a Q&A. Just to remind everybody, if you're looking to have a question answered, there is a Q&A button in your Zoom taskbar. If you click on that, you can go ahead and type in a question. And right after the frequently asked questions, we're going to get around to fielding some of those more personal questions that you've presented. So let's go ahead and get this started. Okay, so why integrate multiple systems? What really is the benefit of doing something like that? So this can create scalability within your lab. This is really good to connect existing equipment with new equipment. So if you're looking, you have something that's filling tubes, filling plates, things like that, but nobody's labeling them, we can integrate in our labelers to put on a label, put on barcodes to increase some of that functionality and just kind of increase the total scale of your systems. This also increases throughput in a lot of different ways. Again, it's reducing those bottlenecks by having to have human intervention within these systems. And it's really going to accelerate your discovery and your timelines because it's going to allow humans to be doing, some different things while some of the more mundane tasks are handled by our automation. And then it's going to be beneficial for connecting your data flow as well, right? So this all has data export files that can go into your lab management systems. It's going to be great for traceability with barcode readers on some of our systems. You can also export all of that barcode data out and then integrate that into downstream processes. So it can really be a useful feature for labs to be integrating to kind of make a more seamless workflow. All right. And so today we're going to be talking about the Cyprint MP2, and that's the system we're going to be demoing. So a little bit about that system. This is a microplate labeler. So MP meaning microplate. This is a reliable identification using labels. So this is printing in both human readable and barcodes. You can have a lot of different styles of barcodes as well. So you get that increased functionality. And this is just going to have that clear print. So in downstream process, there's legible print on it, as well as if you're using barcodes, our systems can put those labels on. So it's just going to have that reliable identification. It has an adaptable design. It has a rotating stage, allowing you to print on whatever side of the plate you'd like, whether that be all four sides or just a couple or maybe even one. You have that flexibility as an end user to do that. And the stage also adjusts in the vertical plane in any increment, meaning you can have a label high on the plate or low if you have a deep well block. And this can be adjusted down to a tenth of a millimeter. So we can really have that precision of label placement, which is going to be super beneficial again in those downstream processes to make sure that that barcode is where it needs to be and so on and so forth. As well as it can be seamlessly integrated. So this system, the MP2, has both a standalone software that you can use just with your users, and it also has software commands allowing it to be easily integrated. So again, making that seamless work cell and allowing you to very easily input these systems into already existing systems. And then that enhanced traceability that we were talking about as well. This system has data export logs, allowing you to have your lab management system uptake these files and create a consistent record of what samples were processed, as well as that barcode export, allowing you to input that into those downstream processes, which we already mentioned. So now that you know a little bit about the MP2, we want to transfer over into a live demo. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and then you're going to hear a little bit from Nick while he runs this demo, and he's going to tell you all about it.
Yep, thanks, Lucas. Just a minute as we kind of pull our main screen up. You should be spotlighted to the point where you can see the MP2, which Lucas has described on the right-hand side. We also included our SciPrint Solo. So this is our automated tube labeling system, which is also very frequently used during integration, higher level integration processes. Celltrio has actually also had the opportunity to integrate solos in their systems as well. But the main star of the show today is the MP2. So you can see that we already have a plate placed onto the nest, as we call it, and just showing a few other deep well blocks, microplates. We also have the culture flask that is available. And this was really an ask that was brought to us by Celltrio. So really happy to collaborate with them and kind of pushing this design a little bit further. And you'll see that actually interact in the RoboCell demonstration after this. But if we transition to a little bit of a closer view here, we'll show you exactly how this works. We will print and apply on all four sides of the blue plate that is up on the nest. And we'll also do a barcode validation. So you'll see the barcode scanner flash. And essentially that is just to verify that the label has been applied and that that barcode can be read. One other note, you'll see that these are very similar or standard size labels for microplates. We do also have a design for taller 1 inch by 2 inch wide labels for cell culture flasks or deep well blocks, things like that, where you want a little bit more capacity on your label to put more information. So without any further ado, I will go ahead and do a print and apply. And we are printing and applying on the second side. You see the barcode scanner flash. And we'll continue this on all four sides. And then that plate nest is brought back down for any integration arm or things to come and pick up the completed plate. We'll go ahead and do it one more time just for repetitive sake. And as Lucas stated, we do print on all four sides. You have the option to print on 1, 2, 3, or 4. Each label can actually also hold different information as well. So it's not like we're printing the same information on all four sides if you didn't want to. So it's really up to you how you want to handle that. So with that, I think that gives you a good enough feel for how the MP2 works. We will transition back over to our slideshow and turn it over to the Celltrio team to do their demonstration introduction of the RoboCell.
Thank you, Nick, for that for that wonderful demonstration. So Celltrio as a company, so we are a life sciences automation company based in the heart of Silicon Valley in Fremont, California. So we design automation solutions for the life sciences industry, mainly around cryogenic preservation, and our flagship RoboCell platform, which is a fully autonomous, modular-based platform designed around simplifying and streamlining. Um, manual cell culture techniques within the T175 flask. So we're able to design a system that's able to be right-sized based off of our customers' specific capacity needs and application needs through the use of our task modules to be able to create a platform that's able to automate these otherwise and typically manual cell culturing processes. If you can go to the next slide. So as you can see on here, this RoboCell itself is a all self-contained enclosed space, gasketed and further sealed with HEPA filtrated air going in and out of it. So when we look to integrate potential equipment, we always want to make sure that we're able to maintain that enclosure environment. So early on, for our first couple of systems, when we were designing out the first few RoboCells, we worked with our customers to really hone in on what aspects of their manual process they wanted to fully automate and semi-automate. So one task that anyone who's been involved within a cell culture space knows is always the mundane, typically manual process, which is data tracking and labeling material. So we had received some recommendations from our first couple of customers about the SciPrint MP2 late for plate labeling. And Celltrio reached out to Scinomix to sit there and see if anyone had done plating on flasks before. And when we heard no, we asked if they'd be interested in helping us to do that. And we started a really great partnership initially with the MP2 printer, but then eventually, as Nick had mentioned, with the Solo as well. As you can see on here, this is the front face of the RoboCell platform. And we're able, because of the small compact size of the MP2, we're actually able to have it on a cart that's able to be pulled out of the system to be able to reload reagents and then load it back in to hit all critical automation accessible areas within the system while maintaining the integrity of the system during running. So through the recommendation of our customer, the seamless partnership with Scinomix, and that compact and innovative design of it, we were able to implement this in multiple RoboCell platforms. All right, if you can go to the next slide. So on here, I'm going to pass this over to Alora. She'll actually talk you through the labeling process and the integration of the MP2 within the RoboCell system.
Yeah, so this is the great kind of part to kind of see what happens inside of the RoboCell. How this video starts is showing our Scara arm going into one of our incubators to pull out that T175 flask. And then you'll see that the Scara arm will go down below our automation deck. That's where the Scinomix printer is located. And you can see right now it's kind of honing. And once it finishes that up, what will happen is that Scara arm will come and place that T175 flask onto that little place. From there, it will rotate the flask around so that it can go and attach the label on top. And of course, this label is critical. It can carry any and all information that the end user might need during their process and their cell culturing. Following that, the Scara arm will come in, pick up that T flask. And to kind of show the rest of an example process of what a workflow can look like inside of the system, we take that flask and we decap it in our decapping zone. There you can see it holds on to the cap as you kind of work inside of your flask. And then it will take the flask over here to what we call our automation zone. This is a location where a lot of those cell culturing processes will happen, such as passaging, if you need to aspirate, dispense media into your flask, dissociate, any of that will happen in this area. And right now in the video, you can see that one of our T-flask handlers actually moves the flasks and rotates it so that all the media can go into one kind of corner location for easy aspiration. Following that, if there's any additional stuff that can be done, right now this is just showing the Scara arm. Once those tasks are completed, it will pick up the flask. It will take it back so it can recap the flask. And then following that process, it will take the flask and put it back into the incubator so that the cells can grow and incubate until it is needed to be pulled out again at a later time for continuing passaging or if cell banking or moving along the process.
Yep, that's great. And as you noticed in the MP2, we had our plates on the demonstration, but here we clearly have the nest showing with the flask, and I think that's been a really big win for both parties here in Celltrio and Scinomix. We'll continue on, Bruce, if you want to continue with this slide.
No, absolutely, Nick. And I agree with you. What would otherwise be a tedious, laborious task for our customers is now something that we can label at the beginning of a process, at the end of the process. We can stop anywhere within the process of a typical RoboCell sequence to be able to add critical information. So as you can see on here, the demo that Alora was able to talk us through just a moment ago had a single label. But as Nick had mentioned, and that we're able to sit there and have multiple different pitches with which we're able to add labels onto it. So our customers typically like to have these smaller well plate based size labels so they can put multiple units on the back of a flask. As you can see from the top center image, we have critical information such as application, end user, scientist name, if it's adherent or suspension. We can also incorporate our customers' custom barcode schemas if they have automation, if they have automated LIMS information that they currently use within their system that differs from the RoboCell's innate tracking metrics. We can also do other critical and common information such as date, cell line name, passage, or any other critical information that the customer might need to be able to track throughout the process. And through having this entire process be hands-free, we're able to ensure that what's associated with that particular cell line or flask within our BioFlow software is again tracked seamlessly throughout the process. So that adds confidence to our customers that the material that they're getting either in their assay plates downstream multiple days down in the process, or that they're receiving off of the machine in flasks is what it should be. And then again, through being able to automatically put this critical information onto the system and validate it either through the internal barcode scanner on the Scinomix or through the barcode scanning capabilities within the RoboCell platform, we're able to improve the traceability of the products that we produce within the RoboCell platform. You can go to the next slide.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Bruce and Alora, for that. That's great. And as we kind of wrap this up after the demos, before the frequently asked questions, we want to take this time to show you some of the other products that we offer that are easily integratable. So, of course, you saw the MP2 and the Solo in the demo. The Solo is very similar to the MP2. It's got that small footprint that can be put into larger platforms very easily, as well as here on the top right, you see the picture of the Rapid Cap 2. This is our capping module. So this is going to rapidly cap and decap tubes. This can be easily integrated, and this is great for if you have liquid handlers that need the caps off of the tubes. They can fill all the tubes, put that into the rapid cap, and it's going to torque every cap down to the same torque level, and it's going to do that rapidly. So that can be a very tedious process to be doing by hand. So this is always a good product to use in larger scale automations. And if we move on here, this is simply to show you that we have other integratable products. These are our larger scale, fully automated systems. They're still integratable. And so this right here in the middle, this is our new Smart Scribe laser etcher. This is without using a label. It's going to burn directly onto the tube. Again, increasing that permanence of your label information. So if it's going into harsh environments and you're concerned about physical labels, this new product here, again, integratable, can really be beneficial for your lab to have that peace of mind that all of the data, all the barcodes are going to remain on that tube for the life of the tube. And then here over on the right side, this is just an integratable bulk feeder where you can load in a bag of tubes, and it's going to it's going to stack all of the tubes up for your next line of integration. And this is just a way to present tubes to a downstream process. Can be super beneficial if you're buying those bulk tubes out of a bag. All right, so before we answer your questions, we're going to do some frequently asked questions. And again, I just want to remind everybody, if you do have questions at this point, in the taskbar of your Zoom, there's a Q&A button. That's where you're going to reach out to us, ask your questions, and directly after this slide, we'll go ahead and start answering those questions that you all have. Okay, so I'm going to start by asking Nick some of these questions here, and then we'll just keep on going down the slides here. So, are there CAD models of our products and integration drawings customers can use?
Yes, the answer is yes. We do have CAD models. We work in SolidWorks here at Scinomix, as a lot of people do. We can produce those step files and provide those to integrators like Celltrio or other partners. If you're still in that early design phase of really trying to figure out what that work cell looks like.
Awesome. And how often does a label roll need to be changed?
Yep, just like your printer that's sitting on your desk in your office or at home, printers still need to be changed. There's not an infinite amount unless you have a smart scribe, right? But the MP2 specifically holds 10,000 labels on a roll. If you noticed in one of the pictures from the RoboCell, the MP2 was positioned on a drawer slide where that MP2 could be easily removed from the RoboCell and have a user interact with changing those label roles. So after 10,000 prints, that is when user interaction would have to happen. Fairly
Awesome.
simple process.
And can the Scinomic system integrate with laboratory management systems?
Yeah, and we've been talking about this kind of throughout this. This is a big piece for a lot of people to kind of close off that last 5% of integration. We typically work with receiving a CSV file that has all of the label information by row. And then we will also produce a results file at the end that could be utilized and pushed back into the system to see results.
Awesome. Who handles the integration of these systems?
Yeah, depending on the workflow, Scinomix can assist with introducing customers to integrators such as Celltrio, um, but typically it's Celltrio or those integrators that are pulling us into the conversation with using or needing a label printer on their workflow. So typically we will hand those off to the larger integrators.
Awesome. And what kind of training and services provided after integration?
Yeah, Cytonomics offers training to the end users or the integrators, depending on the workflow and the scenario. We definitely recommend an annual preventative maintenance on our equipment. We do training, as I said, but equipment for or Cynomics equipment, excuse me, we do offer service plans as well that will cover all parts, any issues that you have with it, on-site visits, so on and so forth. So we're pretty well known in the industry for our service and response time, and pretty proud of it.
Awesome. And what can Scinomics equipment integrate with?
Yeah, really just about anything, right? Our MP2 and Solo can be integrated on any of these large scale workflows, just as the printer. We have the application from end to end, just being that printer. We're compatible with all scheduling software. We provide either APIs or on some of our other systems, it's called Remote Run Start. That really kind of sets the integrators or the end customer up for success in the scheduling process. So.
Wonderful. And I know we have some questions for Cell Trio as well about the RoboCell. So I figure, Alora, I'll go ahead and ask you some questions, and we'll just start at the top. What workflows can the RoboCell automate?
Yeah, so the RoboCell automates sterile cell culture for a wide range of research and bioprocessing applications. It handles both adherent and suspension cells with flexible modular task options.
Awesome. And how does the RoboCell maintain sterility?
It is completely enclosed, HEPA filtered system, ensuring aseptic conditions throughout every step. This closed robotic environment minimizes contamination risks and delivers consistent, reliable results compared to manual cell culturing.
Awesome. And can it integrate with existing lab systems?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's modular and connects with incubators, freezers, and third-party tools. So, for example, the integration with the Scinomix printer is great, as well as we have BioFlow as our software that we sometimes use to tie everything together with scheduling, monitoring, and traceability.
Awesome. What's the throughput and efficiency?
It's designed as a true walkaway system. It can scale from small runs to high throughput operations, delivering reproducible results without constant supervision. And by automating routine culture tasks, it frees researchers to focus on analysis and discovery instead of manual handling.
Awesome. And how does this benefit the lab overall?
Labs hopefully will gain consistency, reduce contamination risks, and the ability to scale projects more smoothly. Instead of replacing people, RoboCell shifts teams towards higher value work while the system handles repetitive culturing tasks in the background.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And now we're going to move it over to your questions. So I'm going to talk to my sales and service manager, Nick, and see if we have any questions that you all had for us.
Yeah, so far we have one. It's related to the MP2. So Matthew Murphy asked, does the MP2 scanner only do barcode verification, or can it communicate barcode information to other steps in the workflow?
Yeah, so it can communicate it to other steps in the workflow, to my knowledge. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it's really through that CSV file or the output file for scanning. You can have that code. Again, you've already inputted that file, so we're doing that verification. But that code, as long as it's scanned, verified, and true, can be utilized in downstream sequences.
Awesome. And I think that was the only question we had, correct?
Yeah, so far.
Okay, gotcha. So if there's any other questions that you all have, you can contact us at sales@Scinomix.com. Feel free to ask whatever questions you may have, or you can give us a phone call at 314-298-9800, and you'll be put in touch with the sales rep that will be able to field any more questions you have. And I know the same is for Celltrio as well, info@celltrio.com. And we'll talk a little bit more about our communication here in the next slide. So moving on. We really want to thank you guys for joining today. We are wrapping up this webinar, so big thank you to our integration partner, Celltrio, for joining as well. That was super special to have both companies in to show really the capabilities of these automation systems. Of course, stay tuned for our next webinar. We'll be sending out some social media links here within the coming months whenever we have our next webinar chosen. And if you need to contact us, like I said, sales@Scinomix.com is a great email to contact us. 314-298-9800 to get in touch with us via the phone. And our next convention that we'll be at is Future Labs Live. And you can see us at booth 212 in Philadelphia. And then I want to turn it over to the Cell Trio folks one last time so they can say their thank yous and kind of wrap us up here.
Yeah, absolutely. So big thank you to you guys for having us. It's been a pleasure to be able to speak about the RoboCell and, every piece that it plays in a role of making workflows more efficient and reliable and how we're able to integrate the printer and the tube labeler into it. So that's phenomenal and fantastic. And again, kind of as Lucas made mention, you can reach us at info@celltrio.com, or if you go to our website, it's pretty easy to see how to get in touch with us. And if you are in the Bay Area, we do have two shows that we will be at. The first one is the Gene Therapy Challenges hosted by PBSS. And then the second one is we will be at the San Francisco Outbreak event. So please stop by and say hello.
All righty. Thank you all. That's going to wrap up our webinar for today. Like I said, keep tuned for the next webinar, and hopefully you'll see us again soon. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.